Emergency officials are responding to a call for a water rescue on Sullivan's Island on Marshall Boulevard. Officials received the call just before 6 o'clock. Sullivan's Island Fire and Police, Isle of Palms Fire, and Charleston County Rescue are responding to this incident. Breaking news just into our newsroom. Crews are responding to a reported shooting on the 2500 block of Celestial Court. North Charleston Police, Charleston County Fire, and EMS are responding. We have a crew on the way to the scene at this time, and we will update you on air and online at counton2.com. We'll have more on News 2 right after the break. Stay with us.
Thousands of people are giving their support to a new petition to rename a downtown Charleston street. The online petition is asking to have Alexander Street in downtown Charleston renamed in honor of one of the Emmanuel AME Church shooting victims. The street near the church would be renamed Susie Jackson Lane. Jackson lived on that street for more than 50 years and was, as her community said, a golden presence to the people who lived around her. And now back to news about the retrial of comedian Bill Cosby. We are told that it will begin sometime this fall. Prosecutors are back at square one after a jury failed to reach a verdict after 52 hours of deliberation last month that ended with a hung jury. His accuser, Andrea Constance, says Cosby drugged and molested her in 2004. That retrial will begin November 6th.
Flora, one local organization is looking to continue the conversation about domestic violence towards women and children. For Her Incorporated is a nonprofit that looks to stop domestic violence while uplifting, empowering, and celebrating women. In this year's For Her event, they are raising money to help those facing adversity in their own homes.
When they decide they want to leave a domestic situation, their first 24 to 48 hours are critical. So they need basic things. They might have left without a toothbrush, toothpaste, food in their bellies. So we actually create a suitcase. And when they need help, we give them that suitcase that has their basic hygiene products. It'll have a gift card to Walmart and something for food and a burner phone so that they can call.
The organization says it's important to keep fighting for the safety of women and children across South Carolina. A traffic alert on I-26.
It was just crazy.
Olivia Little says she was inside the mall when an employee told her to get down, evacuate.
I had to run up the escalator with all the other people in the store. They said that the shooter was hiding in JCPenney.
She was taken to an employee storeroom and held for 30 minutes with other women and children. Meanwhile, police say they searched store after store. The reason? 2 men fought and opened fire.
The two of them exchanged gunfires between each other. From that point on, then they ran from, we're not sure, we're assuming that they ran out of the mall.
The mall went on lockdown, police trying to locate the suspects.
It was not an active shooter situation that was going on in the mall. This was an incident between two individuals where a shot or shots were fired.
Other store employees got caught up in the commotion.
Shooter.
While police say the scene is all clear, the search for the two suspects continues. The mall will open again tomorrow, but residents caught inside while shots went out said they won't be coming back anytime soon.
Like, I can't come here anymore. And I used to come here all the time.
At Northwoods Mall, Margaret Chadbourne, News 2.
Researchers say there are different types of negative thinking, and each can be impactful.
One is just cynical hostility, where we stew a lot. We're kind of suspicious. We're pretty certain the world or folks are against us, and it stays with us. It keeps some of the stress chemicals like cortisol circulating in our system too long.
Some studies have looked at how different types of behavior and thought patterns can impact our aging and DNA. Some doctors say we tend to lump all negative thinking into one place. But there are actually many little ways that we can think that actually harm us and might be influencing our telomeres, or the tips at the end of our DNA that affect the aging process. Thoughts like pessimism, always predicting doom and gloom, as well as ruminating, where we are dredging up past events and mulling them over. Thinking that way keeps stress chemicals active and alive. Dr. B also says thought suppression, where we actively try to avoid thoughts, take a lot of activity and tension and tends to overload our brains. He says that when we are engaged in the outside world and not in our own heads, we can better handle these negative thought patterns. The key? Be able to recognize that thoughts are just thoughts.
Often we're fighting, we're trying to suppress the thought, or you could say, I'm allowed to think. Yeah, I'm just allowed to have thoughts. And maybe notice thoughts without trying to fix them, or without trying to solve a problem, but just noticing that's a thought.
Really, the worst thing you can do is scratch a mosquito bite, because when the mosquito bites, it releases histamine. Histamine causes itching. The more you scratch, the more histamine that gets released, the more it itches.
Instead of scratching, doctors recommend putting hydrocortisone on the bite. Doing this 2 to 3 times per day can help kill the itch, and it will also help it heal faster. Chamomile lotion can also help. If you continually scratch a mosquito bite, you run the risk of scratching off the outer layer of skin as well. If you see bleeding, it means you've gone too far. If you do accidentally scratch through the skin, to avoid the risk of infection, keep the area clean and cover it with an antibiotic ointment and a bandage until it heals. If it gets bigger and becomes tender after a few days, it's time to seek medical attention. People will often try alcohol, witch hazel, and even toothpaste on bug bites. All these products will do is dry out your skin and make it itch even more. But there is one lesser-known trick that can help.
A good alternative is to grab a piece of ice and put right on that itchy bite. Ice kills itch. And if you're at the pool, you probably have a cooler with ice in it, or a cold drink you can put right on there, and that'll really kill that itch.